My name is Dave Hawkins, and along with my wife Nancy, we run a small firewood business in Pembroke, which is about 100 miles maybe north of Ottawa. When we first started, it was just kind of something to do. Didn't produce all that much at the first, but it became a little bit too much to do with a chainsaw and a splitter. Of course, you don't get any younger, so the processor made a lot of sense. When we started to look around for possible processors, we went to the internet, and that's where we found Black's Creek, and then we realized it was not that far down the road for us, so we went and actually went down to the business and had a look at the processors before we bought one. We've certainly never had any concerns with dealing with the Black's Creek. I think that's really one of the major assets for Black's Creek is the service. It's unbelievable how good Sheldon is to deal with. He knows the products inside and out, so that if you're having any issues at all, Sheldon knows exactly what's going wrong and what you need. It's a product that if you have problems, I'm not certainly mechanically inclined, but for the most part, you can go ahead and fix it yourself. And a lot of the parts that you need can be purchased at, Princess Auto or Canadian Tire. Or I think over the course of the length of time that I've had Black's Creek, I may have needed parts twice, and that was just things that normally would wear. It's a simpler design, and it's a very handy processor. It's just a well-built product, and it just keeps working. I noticed whenever I was researching for a processor was how nicely the Black's Creek processor split the wood. I've watched quite a few YouTubes of other bigger machines working, and there seems to be quite a bit of kindling or whatever that comes off when it goes through the splitters. With this machine, you're close enough to the splitting chamber that you can really watch the pieces as they're coming out of that splitting chamber, and there's very little waste. When we initially bought our first processor, it was a 1500 from Black's Creek, and we used that for maybe 8 years, 7-8 years, something like that. We upgraded to the 2000B. Whenever Sheldon took the 1500 back in, there wasn't a part on that had wore out or broke or anything. Again, another great machine, but now Sheldon has asked me to test out a prototype of a processor that he's thinking of putting on the market. It's slick. It's just, that's the only way you can say it's slick. It's well built, and everything just works. Well, before like I say, we did it a lot as a hobby. We still do. Only it's a hobby now that you're not quite as tired at night. It's taken, all the work out of firewood. I guess maybe one of the biggest surprises that we got right out of the gate was, it was very well priced. And when you realize the machine that you got, it was pretty satisfying. Yeah, and basically that's why we've stayed loyal to Black's Creek. Well, if you want to buy a processor and get your money's worth, you better go and talk to the people at Black's Creek.